He's played almost 50 games, and he's in a setting now where I think it's a really natural progression for him at the next level.
Lee's Summit Drew Lock is preparing to hopefully be the 20th first-round pick that played at Missouri, and one of a few to be first-round draft picks from the Kansas City area, joining the likes of Josh Freeman, Alden Smith, Shane Ray, Brad Buddy, among others. Thursday, it's his time, but he and his father reflect back on the journey from kid to pro football player.
You know, you can come back and you have to get dressed up and kind of just relax and, watch everybody play.
After appearing in 50 games at Mizzou, Drew Lock is now ready for the next step. Hearing his name called in the first round of the NFL draft is a very high probability if you look at various mock drafts. Some have him as high as the second pick. The visits, the combine, the pro day, he's impressed at all. But the uncertainty of where he'll play is, well, uncertain.
Shoot, I wish I had an idea. That would make my life a lot easier, and I could start prepping and start talking to teams and getting into a playbook. Get to meet all these different teams, all these different ball clubs. It's been really cool to see a lot of these big-time people.
He's always thrived on uncertainty from a young age on the field.
From the time he was probably a third or fourth grader, I saw the potential in him to be a really special athlete because he kind of had the mentality and the size.
And even at a restaurant.
He came to work with me, and he was kind of like a fish out of water, man. It was funny. He's pretty comfortable in any setting, but those restaurant settings were, he was always afraid he was going to do something wrong.
Drew's father, Andy, owns multiple restaurants in the metro area. He's also watched his son handle pressure well from the beginning.
Drew Lock, a Mizzou commit.
I've never seen anybody, and I mean anybody, ever, from afar or up close that handles pressure like he handles it. And it's odd because I couldn't do it.
Drew comes from an athletic family. Dad played at Mizzou, Grandpa played at Mizzou, Mom was an athlete. His sister is about to play basketball at UMKC. Drew wasn't the best as a youth at baseball.
He'd be kicking in dirt and flipping dirt up in his glove and not paying attention, getting picked off first base.
But football, Drew grew up. Even when Drew Lock was a Tiger here at Lee's Summit High School, he showed maturity beyond his years. His father alluded to when he was a high school quarterback, he spent much more time focusing on the game than hanging out and doing what other high school kids would normally do. He showed a professional poise even then.
To be honest, I really did think there was a real possibility that this would happen at some point. He has had this vision in his head, whether he shared it with other people, aside from his family, for a long, long time. And you can see it in his daily decisions. There was a million times in high school where he'd go, no, I'm not going to go to this person's house because I don't know what's going on over there. And so that was a neat thing about Drew is he's worked his rear off his whole life to get to this point.
Without them, I don't know how I would have kept my head on straight. 2 hours down the road in my own backyard. I think going back to my decision to stay close to home and kind of be around all my family, I think that was huge in my success here.
If somebody needs to get on his rear, it's typically his mom calling him. If somebody needs to pat him in the butt and pick his chin up, it's typically me. And he knows that, and we ham and egg it pretty good. From where he was when he left our driveway to go leave for college at Mizzou 4 years ago or whatever it was to where he is today. It's amazing how much a person can grow in 4 years. I almost kind of just sit back and go, man, that's really good.
Andy recalls watching former NFL drafts with Drew the past couple weeks and looking back at some of the players he faced at Mizzou in his early years. After throwing for over 12,000 yards and nearly 100 touchdowns, his college career took him through highs and lows, what you would expect from a four-year starter who had multiple coaching changes. And now, it's wait and see. And with 50 friends and family headed to Nashville to see him walk across the stage.
Yes, I'm anxious. You've been prepping this whole time by yourself. I'm excited to get on a team and kind of start that next adventure.
Cincinnati, Washington, and Miami. Denver also may be the other teams he's projected to go to according to these notable mock draft services. Lock and the family will find out Thursday where he'll officially report. Lee's Summit will certainly be paying attention Thursday night.